For the past few weeks, I just keep telling myself next week will be easier. But somehow every week keeps feeling heavier than the one before. And somewhere between doctor's appointments, housework, and just life, I realized I was running on empty. The truth is, I don't think I've really talked about how exhausting this last month has been. Not because I don't want to share it, but because sometimes when you're living through something, it's just hard to process yourself. We've had doctor's appointments after doctor's appointments lately, and these aren't quick little trips in town. Most of them are 4 to 5 hour round trips, and by the time we leave the house, sit through the appointment, and drive all the way home, and finally walk back through the front door, the day is pretty much completely gone. And if I'm being honest, on top of the driving absolutely wearing me out is also the mental load that is so exhausting. It's watching someone you love hurt. It's watching them hope for answers, sitting in waiting rooms and hearing things you don't want to hear from the doctors. It's leaving the appointments feeling like you still don't really have a clear answer. And even when you come home, part of your mind is still sitting in that appointment, thinking, worrying, wondering, praying, and trying to figure out what comes next. So, yesterday we had another appointment for my husband, and it was a 5 hour round trip. The past month, we have taken 4 trips in total of 790 miles for my husband's doctor's appointments. And all this running around and traveling has been physically exhausting and also mentally exhausting. Usually, I take you guys along with us when we go on those trips, but yesterday was a lot. We have got a lot of bad weather coming through. We didn't even know if we were going to be able to travel down there the way we wanted to go because of the flash flood warnings. There had been spots where the roads were closed, so we really didn't know what it was going to look like. It was way longer to get back home. We borrowed my mom's vehicle to get down there because we have one vehicle, but we don't like to take it far away. So usually we could borrow my grandmother's, but she had a doctor's appointment too, so we borrowed my mom's. And we didn't realize that her clock was like 20 minutes behind. And we did not pay attention on our phones. And Goodwill is right across the street from the doctor's appointment. So we were like, well, we'll go in there and look around, kill a little bit of time before we have to go to the doctor. We figured we at least had a good 45 minutes or so. So we go in there, we're taking our time, we're looking around, we both have picked up a few things. We get up to the checkout line, and I'm like, oh, let me pull up my phone and check the time. His appointment was 1:30. It was 1:24, and there was like at least 4 or 5 people in front of us. And I was like, we're just gonna have to put this stuff down, and when we get done at the appointment, we will come back over here and see if they still have any of this. The doctor was running behind because he had surgery that morning, so we were in there for longer than anticipated. And we probably didn't get out of there till like 3:15. So my husband was in a lot of pain, and he just decided to sit in the car. I think he had also started getting a headache too. So he sat in the car. I ran in there to get stuff. They were slam packed. The stuff that we had put down had already been moved around. So I was hunting all over trying to find it. But I noticed when I got back out to the car, the skies were gray, like they were black. You could tell the bad weather was coming in. So I checked the weather forecast and weather radar. It said bad weather was coming in about 30 minutes. At this point, it was 3:30. It said it'd get there by 4. And we were going to go get something to eat real quick. And we were like, never mind, we'll wait, we'll stop in another location. It's supposed to be raining, but it's not supposed to be severe. And we'll just stop there on the way home and get something there and try to beat this weather. And I had even checked weather in another location that we were going to have to go through to make sure it wasn't going to be severe or we were going to have to take a long ride home. Well, it said it was going to be clear. So we left trying to beat out the storm, and we get, I don't know, maybe 50 minutes into the drive probably. Okay, so first off, we kept forgetting to stop and get gas. The gas gauge does not work, So we were just kind of going off mileage, which we were fine. We had plenty in there. But every time we stopped, we forget. We got in between the Pensacola, where you come off the Pensacola Bridge before like you go onto the Milton Bridge, and the bottom fell out. It was horrible. I could not see anything. Like we had flashers on. We were going really, really slow on the interstates, going like 30, 35 miles an hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone. And I literally could not see anything in front of me. And I told my husband, I said, "You've got to get me out of here." And he's like, "Well, the exit is over 40 miles away." And I said, "Reroute us to the nearest gas station." So I'm already panicking going over this bridge. I love the water. I absolutely love the water. I do not like bridges. I don't like going over bridges, especially when they're longer and when there is severe weather and you can't see in front of you. You never know if another driver might not be able to see. They spin out of control. Anything could happen, and that terrifies me. So we went over the bridge. We get off the bridge. He just puts in nearest gas station. Me knowing him, think about making sure it doesn't take us back over the bridge. Well, it reroutes us, makes us turn around. We have to go back over the bridge again. And I'm like freaking out. I don't know if that would be Milton or Baghdad that we were in, but there's a gas station literally right beside it, like before this, but it routes us to the Love's gas station. Oh, we pull in there. At that point, the road like in front of it was kind of flooded. So we pull in there. There's Arby's in there. When it finally calms down a little bit, I had checked the radar. They said it was going to be like an hour before the bad weather moves out. We decided just to go in and look around the store. We figured we'd get something for Arby's, let the weather clear out as best as we could. And I couldn't even be mad, like, because we were there and we went into Arby's and there was this older gentleman with his dog, big old white American bulldog. He was so cute and he was laying there being good behind his owners. And as soon as he seen me, like, he got so excited. He was trying to get up. He was trying to wag his tail. Mind you, he was not doing this with anybody else in the store. And I was, like, "Oh, you're so cute." I was talking to him and stuff. Me and my husband ordered food and we walked by the man. I asked him if we could pet the dog, of course. And of course, the dog was so sweet, and he was talking to us about him. He told us his name, but I didn't quite catch the dog's name. So we got our food, we sat down, and the man kind of sat on the other side of the restaurant. And I noticed a few times that he had kind of looked over at us, and he was sitting there, he had his dog up against the wall. And when my husband got up to throw away our food before we left, I seen that he stopped him and was asking him something. Well, then the man walked out the door, so I figured he had asked my husband to watch his dog while he was, going outside for a minute. So I came over there. Me and my husband were petting him and loving on him and stuff. And the man came back in. He was like, "I was so nervous to ask y'all, but I didn't want to take him outside and him get rained on the dog." So I was like, "Oh, no problem. We don't mind at all." And I completely understand. He seemed local, and he didn't want them not to let his dog, come in anymore. He said that, they all really like the dog, and they let him come in there. And there was nobody else in the store, like, interacting with the dog. So I'm glad we were there because, it's hard to find somebody you can stop, especially a stranger, just to sit with your dog for a few seconds. So I'm so glad we were there. And we had actually told him bye. We told him it was nice to meet him and everything. We went to the convenient part of the store and got some stuff and checked out. And we were walking out, and my husband seen the man and the dog walking back inside because I think at this point, I think he took him out to potty or something. And my husband was like, "Bye, doggy." So the man turned around and he was like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe it, but the dog was out here in the parking lot looking for y'all." Of course, the dog, he came running up to us on his leash and stuff, and he was sweet, so we got to tell him bye. So I was thinking about that man and the dog on the way home the whole time. I just kept thinking about them, hoping they got home safe and everything. Like I said, they sounded like they were either local or maybe they frequent through there quite often. So I couldn't even be mad because I just felt like we were in the right place at the right time, and that's where we were supposed to be. So I couldn't even be mad that our trip home got postponed because of the weather. But we left out coming home about, like I said, about 3:30. We did not get back home until almost 9 o'clock. It took us that long to get back to the house. We didn't get the news we hoped for there. Doctor basically said there is nothing else he can do for my husband besides surgery, and we don't want surgery. So he says he doesn't, understand why things don't seem to be working. So unfortunately, it feels like you're being defeated. We've done all kinds of stuff. So we just are where we are, and that's it. We know that this is an injury that he will probably live with for the rest of his life. So now the only thing we can hope we can do is make some life adjustments, and hopefully that will help decrease his pain a little bit. So over the last month, his pain has increased from before his back probably averaged on a pain scale of like a 6 to an 8. Over the past month, it has been like a 9 or a 10 every single day. So it's just been very overwhelming and a lot to handle mentally. We're just going to take it with stride, and we're going to keep moving forward. We know the Lord has a plan wherever He takes us. By the way, I have gotten so many comments and questions about my clothing and where I get it. And for that, I just want to say thank y'all. That is so sweet. My next video will be a clothing video. So if you have any interest or questions, then hopefully I can get those answered for y'all. And while all of this has been happening, life hasn't exactly slowed down either. There's still dishes that need to be washed and laundry that needs to be folded. Lots and lots of laundry that I've let pile up. And of course, we have 5 dogs, so they still require 24-hour care, and the house still always needs attention. I have YouTube videos that I have to film and edit every week. And lately, I feel like I've been walking around with 100 tabs open in my brain. You know how your computer starts running slow when you have too many windows open? Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Just overloaded. And I think that's why I feel myself getting frustrated with things that don't normally bother me. Because when you're already mentally exhausted, even the small little things start feeling bigger than they actually are. And I keep telling myself that once things slow down, I'd finally get caught back up. Or once life settled down a little bit, then I would get organized. And once I had more energy, then I would finish all these projects that I desperately need to get done around the house. And once I finally felt motivated, then I could get everything done around the house. But life has a funny way of reminding us that there's always going to be something. There will always be another busy season or an unexpected expense that comes up. There's always another doctor's appointment or some sort of challenge or trial that we have to go through. And there's always some sort of excuse that we could come up with for a reason to put things off and just continue to put them off until someday in the future. And I think that's what God has really been teaching me lately. Not that I need to do more or not that I need to work harder, but that I need to stop waiting for perfect conditions before I start moving forward. Because if I'm waiting until life feels easy, I'm going to be waiting for a very long time. The reality is that most of us are building our lives in the middle of imperfect circumstances. We're cleaning houses while we're tired. People are still raising families while they're worried. People are still showing up for work while they're carrying things that nobody else knows about. And we're all just trying to keep moving forward while life is happening around us. And I think sometimes we forget how normal that actually is, because social media makes it look like everyone else has everything together. Like everyone else has figured out their perfect routine. They've got their schedule down pat. They've got this perfect work-life balance. Meanwhile, I'm over here looking around at my house and all the unfinished projects I have and all the housework I have let myself put off for weeks and wondering where in the world this month has went to. But maybe that's exactly why it's important to talk about this, because I know I'm not the only one. I know there are people watching this who are carrying very heavy things too. Maybe it's health issues or financial stress. Maybe it's caring for a loved one. Or maybe you're going through grief, or you're just mentally or physically tired. And if that's you, I want you to know something. You don't have to fix everything today, and you don't have to catch your entire life up in one day. Your whole house does not need to be clean today. You do not have to finish every single project on your list today. You just have to take the next step. Maybe for you, that's a load of laundry or a sink full of dishes. Maybe that's one room that you've been putting off, or a phone call that you need to make to somebody, or just some little task that needs to get done, or a small act of obedience that you have been waiting to do for the Lord. One small step forward, that's it. Because the funny thing is, when I look back at my life, the biggest changes never happened all at once. This house didn't become more functional overnight, and my routines didn't magically appear overnight. The habits I'm proud of today weren't built in a single weekend. They were built through small choices repeated over and over again. And that's encouraging because it means we don't need a burst of motivation to change our lives. We just need to keep showing up, even if it's imperfect, even if we're tired, even when the progress feels slow. One thing I've been reminding myself lately is that motivation is a feeling, and feelings come and go. But discipline is a choice. And discipline doesn't have to look dramatic. Sometimes discipline looks like folding laundry when you rather scroll your phone. Sometimes it looks like washing dishes even when you're tired, or getting up and trying again after a really, really hard week. Not because you feel like it, but because your future will be thankful that you did it. And I think that's where I am right now. I'm not caught up. The projects aren't all finished. The house is definitely not perfect. And life has not been less stressful lately. But I'm learning that progress doesn't require perfection, it just requires movement. And that's the reminder I needed all along. Not to do everything, but to do something and trust God with the rest. One small little step at a time. Ethan has to go in early to work tonight. Their schedule is a little bit thrown off because of the 4th of July. He's going to have an extra long day at work. And I completely forgot he was out of sweets. If I would have remembered earlier, I would have made him some tea cakes because he loves tea cakes. But I actually completely forgot that he had to go in early until just a few hours ago. I'm packing him some extra food just to get him through the night. So I'm hoping all this is going to fit. I gotta fill out your chart. Was 9.5 your highest back pain yesterday? Mm-hmm. 4 on your neck. Yeah. That was the highest for yesterday? Mm-hmm. And your back was 9.5? Mm-hmm. Okay, what about today so far? 9 on your back? What about neck? 4.5. You had a headache yesterday or today? Tremors? A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Not today, bye. Just gotta go to work. Hey, Barry. Hey, buddy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Love you. Love you. Alright, be careful. See you later. Right. I love y'all. Bye, Dad. I'll see y'all in the morning. Bye, Daddy. Alright, love you, Dad. Love you. Be careful. I'll see you in the morning. Okay. Alright, what are you doing? Barry. funny story. My husband and I both mixed up the days. I had been thinking all day that this Saturday was the 4th of July. So their work schedule was going to be different this week. He was supposed to go in at 3 o'clock. Well, he was sleepy when I asked him to, and I was like, you have to go in at 3 o'clock today, right? And he was like, yeah. So we didn't think nothing about it, sent him off to work early. And later, just a few minutes after 3, after he leaves for work, I'm on the phone with my grandmother telling her happy birthday. And I'm like, yeah, Ethan had to go in early for 4th of July this weekend because they're changing up their schedule. And she's like, it's 4th this week? And I'm like, yeah, it's Saturday. And she said, I think it's next week. Well, then I realized she's right. And we sent him to work 2.5 hours early. So I tried to text him and say, we got the wrong day. You're not supposed to be there early today. So he calls me later, just a few minutes later, and lets me know that, yeah, we got the dates wrong. But kind of ended up working out anyway because he called his night shift supervisor and asked him. And apparently one of the other guys had called out at work. So he just stayed there and was doing the other guy's shift. So I felt bad that he woke up early and had to go to work early, but I guess it all worked out. It's been storming all afternoon since he left for work. So me and Fudgy are just about to hang out on the couch, and I'm going to get this video edited for you guys. I can have it uploaded tomorrow evening. So, I just got a phone call from my husband. He's been at work for 4.5 hours or so maybe, and he was on a break. He's in excruciating pain. He is having spasms all through his back and all through his neck. He says he can't even bend over. He's shaking really bad. He had to break earlier because he felt like he was going to pass out. I don't know what we're going to do. I just know we have to take it one day at a time. It's kind of frustrating because the doctors are saying there's nothing else they could do for him. And the reality is becoming more apparent that he's not going to be able to continue to do what he does. He's going to have to find something different, because doing this and the pain he is in and the problems continue to increase, and he doesn't really have much quality of life because of it. So I just wanted to update you guys before I closed out this vlog, and I wanted to be open with you guys about where we're at right now. So all I know is to put one foot in front of the other and take it one day and one thing at a time, and that's all we can do.
I'll put it.
Here. Okay. Is it pain? You having spasms still? Stop, buddy. What about your neck? Arm bones. Are you having spasms still in your neck?
No.
Are you still in shaking bad?
Yeah.
Tremors? Is it like shaking, or is it like your tremors are bad?
Both.
Pain on the neck.
Can you get the boots off for me?
Yeah, you want to sit down?
Oh, second. cat. Yes, I love you, son. Yeah, it was the sauce of pizza and some of the watermelons.
Come on. Hop back in the shower. Y'all been outside or close to the work.